Judging by the realities on ground, the All Progressives Congress seems to be on a cliff edge a few months to next year's presidential election. It has been a case of 1 week, one trouble. Increasingly, the ruling party seems to be jumping from one frying pan to fire in the build-up to the presidential poll. Apparently, things seem to be falling apart since the ruling party conducted its elective convention that produced the Senator Abdullahi Adamu-led National Working Committee and the primary election that produced former Lagos State Governor Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the party's presidential candidates for the 2023 election. Now we have joining us in the studio a member of the All Progressives Congress, Comrade Musa Ali Otigba, and he's also a national coordinator and founder. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, Comrade.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Comrade. The organization National Coalition for Mobilization, is one of the organizations within the APC mobilizing for support for the party. Now, isn't your group, I mean you as the leader, afraid that with the turn of events over the past few weeks, the chances of the party in 2023 election are dimming?
Thank you very much. The name of the group is National Coalition for Mass Mobilization, also known as NATCOM. We're a support group to the All Progressives Congress. And going to your question, we are not disturbed. The chances are not, there's nothing like our chances dimming at all. What is happening today within the APC is a normal thing that happens in politics, and especially during an election like this, because of different interests. So it's not new to us.
Okay.
We face even more than this in the 2015 and 2019 elections, and we overcame them.
Well,
so
okay.
we still overcome this one.
Okay. Well, I know that perhaps your party is buoyed by the fact that a lot of people predicted that the primary election will not be smooth in the way it ended, because a lot of people expected implosion of the party after the primaries. Of course, these ripples are more after the primaries with regards to the choice of the vice presidential candidate. Why in the first place do you think the party did the right thing by making the choice it did, or especially the candidate?
Well, it's not about doing the right thing. It's about winning election. Okay,
so you believe it's not the right thing, the choice of a Muslim to go with the Muslim?
Well, going by what is happening in Nigeria today, the country is not a Muslim, a Muslim country per se. So we have Muslims, we have Christians. So the right thing would have been a Muslim-Christian ticket, which we have done in time past. But this time around, you have to look at the narratives. You have to look at your chances. And no political party want to go into election with the intention to lose. You go into election with all the strategies you can employ to win election. And that is what our party has done, and our candidate.
Okay. Well, there are actually reports that some APC members have vowed to campaign and vote against the party in the 2023 elections, over the Muslim ticket. Now, how deep is the resistance, of the Muslim ticket in the APC right now?
If you look at those people that are making such vow, as you said, a lot of them are doing it for their personal interest. But unfortunately, they are hiding under religion. During the primary, I could recall, during the presidential primary, that I was with Honorable James Faleke from Lagos and Engineer Bidi Lawa, mobilizing support for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu right at Eagle Square. We were together. And we did not know that he was doing that for his personal interest. So now that the thing did not go his way, he is crying wolf. and the likes of him. All of them that did that
but
press conference.
Just to correct you, comrade, the engineer Babachir David Lowell did not say he's doing this for his personal interest.
That's why I said they are hiding under religion. That is it. Why was he campaigning for Tinubu at Eagle Square, and all of a sudden he changed? Who was he expecting to be the vice presidential candidate at that time? These are the questions we should ask.
Are you saying it was difficult for Tinubu to actually get a Christian potential running mate?
It wasn't difficult. But like I told you, every party has its own strategy. It's our own strategy to win the next presidential election. Because don't forget, Tinubu is a Muslim from the south. In the north, this is a place where over 90% of them are Muslims. And you don't take religious sentiment out of politics, especially in Nigeria. So if you go and take a Christian, that you are not even a majority from the north, you are not from there. You go and take a Christian from there, the issue of you not being part of them is there already. You are not a northerner, you are from the south. And these are the people that, of course, the bulk of the vote of APC always come from that axis. So if you go and take another minority like yourself, what do you expect? Are you already plan to fail? That is it. I am a Christian. I'm a member of APC. And I am comfortable with it because I want my party to win election.
Okay, comrade, as you said, there are so many permutations. One issue is also the other candidates. How do you see, especially with other parties fielding Muslim, Christian, Muslim? Don't you see that these revolt votes will affect your party? I mean, people will instead vote for parties that field the two people from the two religions.
That's the beauty of democracy. You have choices to make. Those that are not comfortable with us, they have that opportunity. But what we are telling them is that it is not religious. For example, Osibajo has been vice president in Nigeria. I have not seen one Christian that will come and tell me that he came to Aso Rock Gate and say he want to enter the villa to see Osibajo, and they ask him or her, for what? You say because he's a Christian. You can't do that. You can't go to Benue State Government House to see Samuel Otom, and they ask you, why are you seeing Samuel Otom? You say, I want to see him because I'm a Christian. No. So we don't use that basis.
That seems to be an interesting analogy, but the issue is a lot of times people will say that it's about the sense of belonging and that the feeling that one of us is there. It's what will satisfy others.
Yes, of course. The Nigerian government is not just about president and vice president. You have other positions. You have secretary to the government of the federation. You have Senate president. You have Speaker, House of Representatives. All these people make up, the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if the president and vice are Muslims, we can also look for a way to make Christian Senate president and Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Okay, well, the whole idea of the Muslim ticket, is to have at least a unifier, someone who would represent both religions, in power. Now, but we also have Lowell and Dogara accusing, the APC of eliminating Northern Christians from its National Working Committee and National Executive Committee, alleging it as a part of its anti-Christian agenda. So could you share your thoughts about it, and why are these two leading the battle against their own party?
Politics is about interest. Don't forget, the Yakubu Dogara you mentioned did not form APC with us. He came from PDP because his interest, he felt at that time, was not protected. So he came to the APC and they gave him what he wanted. Now that he cannot get another thing he wanted this time, he's going back. He's saying the same thing. The people like Yakubu Dogara, we know them. We don't bother ourselves much about them. If you have a visit, a guest, my dad used to tell me a story that if your neighbor, somebody run from your neighbor's house and come to tell you that your neighbor has chased him away, and with flimsy stories, and you accommodate that, you should expect the same story one day, that he will run from your own house and start telling people that you chase him out of the house.
But so these same people actually went to visit Nyesom Wike on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now there are rumors about a lot of a massive decampment from APC to the PDP, and even if you check reports on Vanguard newspaper, there's a report that says defection hits APC as 5,000 members defect to the PDP in Cross River State alone.
We have never won Cross River State. We know where our winning strengths are. So if they want to decamp, good for them. We are not chasing them away, but anybody that feels it's okay, he cannot continue with us at this point, at that level, they can go. Cross River, Rivers, we've never won an election in those states.
So, but Musa, don't you think that this is this is the kind of attitude that may actually lead to the failure of your party if you keep dismissing people to say that they don't matter?
We are not dismissing them, but in politics you can't. Whatever your interest is different from my own. I cannot push you or force you to drop your interest for my own. So what matters is you look at your interests. Who will talk to you? You have been talking to them. Don't use this as excuse to leave the party. After all, after winning election, there are many things to share. The first thing is for us to work together to win first. Then if you miss this one, you can get another one. But the attitude of it must be this. I must be the one to get this. That's what is chasing some of them away. And of the truth, our party is trying its best. The NWC, led by His Excellency Senator Abdullah Adamu, has been consistent in making sure that people don't leave the party. But there's a level you can push them to. There's a level you can beg them to. And if they say no, that's the beauty of democracy, they can go.
Okay, so now going into the election, away from the main crisis now, what do you expect to campaign with, especially in the face of so many daunting challenges? Nigerians seems to be frustrated by issue of security, lack of it, and then of course economic hardship and all that. What's the APC going to campaign with?
We have a lot to campaign with. If you observe, you are a Nigerian. In 2015, before we came on board, there was bomb attack. Abuja, in Nyanya. There was another one in UN House. I think Madala also. So we have had series of attacks. We did not start it. But that's not the point. Because we came so that we can improve on it. And actually,
well, has it been
our
improved?
press, yeah, of course.
Has it been improved on? Because even Abuja is not safe as it is.
But
there are pockets of attacks within Abuja. Not to talk of states in the northern Nigeria.
Thank God you use the word pocket. Even in America, there are pockets of attack till today. In Canada, recently or 2 days ago, I was hearing a friend of mine, an Igbo, who kept attacking us about insecurity, was crying that his brother was killed by gunmen in Canada. And I said, oh, so you have gunmen in Canada? It's a world phenomenon. It's not a Nigerian issue alone. But we know that the government need to do more, or ought to have done more. But that is the best it can do. And don't forget that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not Buhari. We're not campaigning for Buhari now. We're campaigning for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who we believe has more to offer to Nigerians.
Okay, so but do you think Nigeria, is better now than it was in 2015?
Well, that question is relative. It depends on who is answering it. For me, it's better for me than in 2015. And I know so many people that, yes, the country is better for them. I am not saying that there are no challenges. There are challenges. But we will be able to overcome these challenges if we come together and pray. I'm particularly worried about what is happening in Nigeria today by some church leaders who have turned worship centers into campaign grounds. They are now, it's not just campaign, they are preaching hate against the government of President Muhammadu Buhari and against our party, the APC. That is an issue that we want to call, I personally want to call on Mr. President. Tomorrow, by God's grace, we are going to address a press conference.
Okay, so what about you're talking about, using worship centers as campaign ground. What about, the alleged bishops that, endorsed Shetima?
How can you say alleged bishop? What do you mean by alleged? Are they not bishops? When you say alleged, I want to be clear. They are bishops from Nigeria. They are Nigerians that believe, well, Christian or Muslim ticket is not our issue now. The issue, what we need in Nigeria are competent people, capable people that can lead us, that can change the narratives and take us out of whatever situation.
So what makes them different from the people that you say have turned their pulpits into campaign ground?
They came to identify with our candidate, and that was, they did not insult any political party, they did not campaign against any political party, they just came in solidarity with the candidate. Sorry. But what the campaign that I'm talking about is where you gather your people in the church, like Dunamis. I want to mention the church.
Don't.
Okay.
Yes. We don't think you should mention any church.
It's okay.
Right now.
But those churches, instead of concentrating on preaching the gospel, which they are meant for, but they are now turning the place to campaign against our government, against our party,
right now,
and telling Christians or their members that whoever vote for APC in this coming election will die.
All right, comrade.
Excuse me, that is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous
comrade,
trend.
I actually wanted to ask you something. You talked about, bishops. You talked about bishops, coming to the actual bishops being the ones, endorsing Shetima. So if the bishops actually came around to endorse Shetima, it means it was a unanimous decision. But you have the. Excuse me. You actually have, the CAN and also the Northern Christians, against the Muslim ticket.
If you say unanimous, in 2015, let me take you back to 2015. The CAN did the same thing. CAN never supported the APC. CAN endorsed Jonathan. In fact, you see endorsement every day. You say this branch of CAN, that branch of CAN, national CAN, and all of that. But we won our election. God was on our side, as he's still going to be on our side in this coming election. So if you say unanimous, I told you here that I'm a Christian. So it's not anything, there's nothing like unanimous decision. Even as they are preaching, those churches are preaching that I'm talking about, our members that are in the church are reporting to us. So it cannot be unanimous decision.
All right,
so the bishop that came, not all of them are bishops.
Oh, you agree with that? Now?
Not all of them are bishops.
Because bishops cannot be seen changing robes, in the park.
No. Not all of them are bishops. We have pastors. But, maybe one media house report that they are all bishops. No. They are pastors. Some are bishops. Some are reverend. From different parts of the country. But
they're all party members. They're all APC party members.
Yes. They are. So, and they come in solidarity. They want to say that, look, even if CAN say this is not good, we are also Nigerians and we are men of God too. We are Christians. We want to tell you that we don't have any problem with your decision.
Okay, so one issue, back to the question I first asked you regarding hardships and all that. Indices like, for example, the exchange rate of the Naira and fuel price even, the pump price of fuel have gone up much higher than what it was in 2015. Don't you think that with this kind of indices, it will be difficult for your party to face Nigerians and sell your party again for 2023 election?
Well, I am not working in the government. I don't know what caused those differences in the indices. Because I could remember we promised, our president, when he was campaigning, promised to make sure that the dollar exchange rate was, curtailed to a minimal level, but I don't know what happened. And one bad thing that I must say is the failure of the government or those that manage information within the government to constantly educate Nigerians on the causes of some of these problems that we face. For example, the issue of fuel crisis. You come out openly and tell your people, tell the people that you are leading, why we are facing these challenges. What is causing the scarcity? You are not saying anything, then people begin to say the one they know. You come out and say, it's a lie, it's not true. And at the end of the day, the so-called lie become the reality because you are not talking. So I think the government of President Muhammadu Buhari did not do well in that aspect of information. Talk to your people. If you don't tell them what is happening, the challenges you are facing, they won't know. But if it is a world phenomenon, a global phenomenon, tell them. So countries are facing the same thing. Okay. If it is only your country, tell them the reason why we are going through all those things.
Whose fault is it, that the government isn't actually speaking to the people? Because it's not about them, speaking to the people. It's about something happening and then coming out to say that it is not what it is. And then you also have your candidates trying to continue with this particular legacy. How do you expect the Nigerian people to feel about it?
No. So Tinubu say he's going to continue. Continuity of what? It's a continuity of APC government, not continuity of what is happening today. We are promising and we are hoping that we are going to improve. Tinubu is going to improve on whatever that is happening today. He's going to improve. You don't forget that Tinubu has never been part of.
Okay, so what about the aviation sector? We've actually never had it this bad. We haven't. What do you have to say about that?
Again, I'm not working with the aviation ministry. I am not working with the government. I'm a member and supporter of APC. The government need to come out constantly. You don't just address one press conference and rest. People want to know day by hour, if it's every hour, every week. You keep updating the people. We are having aviation fuel crisis. These are the reasons. These are the reasons. Let Nigerians hear you out. Those who want to believe you will believe. Those who don't want to believe will not believe. But the important thing is that you are talking to the people. We want the government to improve on talking to people. This issue of silence is you keep silence. People are lamenting. People are complaining, and you are not saying anything. It's not good for us. Even as a member of the party, I don't like that. I want the government to come up, open up more, tell Nigerians what you are passing through. Why are we having the challenges we are having? Then at least everybody will understand with you. If they don't, those who don't want to understand can, keep saying whatever they want to say.
Well, you seem to try to create a line between the current government and then the candidate of the party for 2023 election. But how is it, how do you expect people, to differentiate between the two? Because this is the same party. And also, don't you think that Tinubu cannot escape the, in quotes, the bad things that maybe this administration has done?
Well, I don't know what are the bad things, but Tinubu...
Well, the negative perception of this administration, let me put it down.
Tinubu is different from Buhari. Political party is a platform for individuals to come to aspire for positions. President Muhammadu Buhari aspired for presidency under our party, the APC, and he won. He is a different personality with Tinubu. Tinubu has been a governor. Buhari was never a governor. Buhari was a general in the army. Tinubu was not a general. He was never in the army. And Tinubu is not part of this government. He is not a chief of staff or minister or anything that we can say, so he is going to continue the same way. No. And he is going to come with a new set of people.
So are you saying
that will redirect the affairs
are you
of this,
saying
of this country.
President Buhari's administration is a failure?
I have not said so. It's not a failure. We have achieved, we have a lot of achievement. Do you know when last railway worked in Nigeria? Can you remember?
Is it before the Kaduna-Abuja attack or before it even started operation?
Attack is different from working. I'm talking about operational. And Kaduna-Abuja attack was just one lane and one incident.
But the railway is no longer working. So.
Which one is no longer
the
working?
Abuja-Kaduna.
Because of the attack. But we have railway working. Itakpe, Ajokuta, Wari, working. And other axes. But I know of Itakpe because I use it anytime I want to travel.
And also Lagos.
If I want to go to Porta, I don't know of other axes. But I heard they are
But
working.
what we're trying to say
but
now
the
is
one
how
I have,
safe,
but in Nigeria,
how
generally,
safe are they, with all the threats of, attack in other parts of the country?
Attack, I have told you earlier, is not a Nigerian thing alone. Don't they attack in other countries?
Oh, but we should
Militants.
stop comparing ourselves with other countries. We should find ways to actually,
Of course, yes, the attack has taken place, but there was a railway before the attack. That's the point I want to make you understand. There was a railway. But when last did you see that railway before the attack? So this government came and, revamped the railway sector.
All right.
Before now, most of the railway stations were turned to where people dump waste bins. But today, that sector is working perfectly, apart from the attack, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, well, we'll continue the discussion, but let's take a quick break when we resume.
Thank you.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
That's great. It's good to see you.
welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Daybreak on Trust TV, and we're talking about the internal wranglings going on in the APC. And right here in the studio, we still have Comrade Musa Ali Otigba. He's the National Coordinator, APC National Coalition for Mass Mobilization. Thank you for staying with us, Comrade.
Thank you.
All right, so it was actually learned that the APC are still unable to constitute its presidential campaign, council, for Tinubu as candidate due to the issue of, the Muslim ticket. Is this true?
No, it's not true. The campaign, INEC has a guideline for political activities. Campaign starts September, according to INEC, and we are in August. We're just entering August today. So maybe before the end of this month, the campaign council will be constituted. So there's nothing like the party is unable to constitute its campaign council.
So, Comrade, throughout all our discussions in the past, like around 30 minutes, we're discussing about the internal issues of your party and the challenges. You seem to have to exude some confidence. What is giving you that confidence that your party still stand a good chance in the election?
Where something is not new to you, we are not, this challenge we are facing is not new to us. We face it even more in 2019. And Buhari won election. So that is giving me confidence. And with the likes of people that we have in our party, Tinubu, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as our candidate, and His Excellency Kashim Shettima as the running mate, and other governors, we are confident that we are going to win election.
Okay, but you being optimistic about winning and about every challenge going on in the APC, what about other party members? Are they as optimistic as you?
Well, it's very difficult to speak for others. But I know the committed party members like me are optimistic that we are going to win. This group you are seeing, NATCOM, we have just inaugurated Borno State chapter last week, I think on the 25th of July. NATCOM is all over Nigeria now, in every local government. So this month of August is month of inauguration for us. It is after inauguration you are going to see the actual campaign, grassroots mobilization for APC. Across Nigeria.
You are talking about the credentials of your candidate, Asiwaju Tinubu, and his running mate. But don't you look at other contenders in the field, the other parties, especially, the major contender, the PDP, and of course, others like Labour Party and NNPP. If you look at the PDP, this candidate, Atiku Abubakar, is a veteran of the battle as well. Don't you think that you can't defeat Atiku with the level of investment he has made in the past years that he has been contesting to run for the affairs of this country?
The person and the caliber of Atiku Abubakar is not somebody you can easily say no, we will defeat him. So we are not saying that. We know Atiku is well known, is an old politician, experienced politician for that matter. That is a very serious contender that we have, but we are going to defeat him. But we have reasons that we are going to defeat him when the time comes.
Yeah, they say it's not by word of mouth.
I say when the time comes, we are going to, Nigerians will know.
But Peter Obi is getting a lot of support.
I was actually going to ask a question on that because, Tinubu keeps comparing himself to, Moshood Abiola. In 1993, Nigerians actually needed a savior, someone to save them from, what was happening in the country. And in this case, Nigerians still are in need of a savior. But I don't think they see that in, your candidate, Tinubu.
For us that are APC members and that are supporting him, we are seeing that in him because the kind of people, caliber of people that Tinubu has brought up politically and the impact he has made on the people in Lagos State where he governed, I'm not talking about because he has not had any national office in Lagos State, and how he has been able to build people that are all over the country now. Tinubu can be compared.
And they are all APC members, and they are all responsible for what is happening in the country today.
Responsible in what way?
Like, okay, let's just
He didn't build Buhari. Buhari had contested for presidency 3 times before the formation of APC. So it was just a measure that brought him, you know, a measure of different parties.
Well,
Don't forget Buhari came with...
Buhari doesn't work alone. He has, you know, people who he works with.
Tinubu is not part of them.
Yeah, but he's not part. But most of the people he brought up
They
are part of the government.
In their own area. For example, as Baba, what is his name? The former governor of Lagos State, Tunde Fashola, is a minister of works and housing. Can't you see the level of construction, road construction across the country, construction and rehabilitation? Anybody that want to accuse APC of no performance cannot talk about road construction and rehabilitation.
Well,
yes, we have done massively well in that aspect. And we can give you examples. All over the country, road construction and rehabilitation, you can't take that away from us.
Well, the election is still a bit far away from now, and we wait to see whether what you are saying will impact on the voters and, of course, the result of the election. Thank you very much, Comrade Musa Ali Otiba, for staying with us, and we hope to have you another time on the program.